The imbroglio in India-Canada bilateral ties that started ever since Justin Trudeau government has alleged some credible allegations against India on Indian agencies' role in killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar continues unabated with Justin Trudeau. The Canadian Prime Minister has once again repeated what he has earlier alleged against India. In his latest statement, Justin Trudeau government has said that Canada has shared allegations that Indian government was involved in killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Trudeau has, however, failed to again provide any statement or any evidences, and these allegations means nothing as long as Trudeau government doesn't share these things. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has also reacted on this standoff, the diplomatic standoff between India and Canada on the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, and he has said that we are deeply concerned about the allegations that the Canadian PM Trudeau has leveled, and he's also said that we want to see accountability, and it's important that the investigation run its course and lead to the result. So this has been the standard position of USA ever since this controversy has started. US officials have stated the fact that these allegations are concerning, but the investigation should go on and reach to its conclusion. Probably then it would good to establish any country or any charges that has been leveled by the Justin Trudeau government. Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong has also met S. Jaishankar, Indian External Affairs Minister, in New York on the sidelines of UNGA 78 that is still undergoing. But meanwhile, whether they talked about Hardeep Singh Nijjar's killing or any intelligence sharing that apparently Five Eyes countries have been doing is not clear, but they did talk about the regional security and stability and issues like Indo-Pacific and India-Australia bilateral ties. The allegations have been that these Five Eyes countries, some of them have shared Canada's concern to India before the news actually was broke out by the Canadian Prime Minister himself on the floor of Canadian Parliament. But since then, it hasn't been substantiated by the Canadian authorities. There have been some media reports, trickling in Canadian, official media, that there are some sources in the government of Justin Trudeau that are confirming that they have some human intelligence as well as signal intelligence also that establishes Indian agencies or Indian diplomats' role apparently in the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Meanwhile, with the multiple statements coming from all quarters, that remains to be seen how the entire West is going to react on this overall controversy, because Hardeep Singh Nijjar was a terrorist. He had Red Corner notice against him. He had a reward on his head, and he was involved in several killings, or at least attempt to killing, murders, organized crimes, and these were the allegations that Indian national investigating agencies have had put against him. And even despite those allegations, on Hardeep Singh Nijjar shared by Indian agencies to the Canadian government, we haven't seen any action that the Canadian government had taken on Hardeep Singh Nijjar or any prosecution that was followed. So in that context, it remains to be seen how Canada is going to justify its soil or its land being used for these anti-India operatives, which are very much now being protected, sheltered by the Canadian political class, largely by the Liberal Party, which is in power right now. Meanwhile, we have seen Canadian Canadian opposition leaders also trying to ensure the safety and security. They are coming out with statements saying that there have been some instances of hate speech or anti-India, anti-Hindu statements or threats or intimidation coming on social media, and in that context only, Pierre Poilievre, the opposition leader in Canada, he has said that in recent days we have seen hateful comments targeting Hindus in Canada, and conservatives condemn these comments against our Hindu neighbors and friends. Hindus have made invaluable contribution to every part of our country and will always be welcome here. So where the controversy started by Justin Trudeau government has now reached to a point of social division within the Canadian society, and it is becoming internal conflicting situation where now the political class or the political leaders are also coming out in support of peace and harmony, and that the situation should not go out of hand, and the social division among Indian diaspora, among Sikhs and Hindus, should not become a larger social problem for the Canadian society.